Hello, my name is Tyree Daye, reading from Raleigh, North Carolina, and you're watching Poet House Presents. I'm reading from my second collection, Cardinal, forthcoming from Cave Canem Press, October 6th. Cardinal deals with the history of traveling while Black in America. By land. I've lived on dirt roads that bent and ended at a gate of ponds. The dust skipped up, didn't make my mother look like a dream. I've lived on roads that dragged through America. I've paced only them to the next town. The road we kissed on is gone. Rich folks buying up all the city in which we make do. I miss when Sonny could do a wheelie all the way down Person Street, and no one would call the police because he was a part of the neighborhood like the honeysuckle bush between 2 yards, and he was beautiful, not like a horse standing alone in a yellow field, but like a man is beautiful. Most of the little towns have a road nicknamed Devil's Turn, where someone's brother died on a Saturday night while Nina sang Tell Me More, and then some on the caddy's radio, the moon the color of the oldest cardinal. Every road isn't a way out. Some circle back like wolves. You can't get lost on them and they won't lose you. Others wait for you to run out of gas, then come alive with what your mother said would take you. Every road promises something like a father does, but when you arrive, the town is empty and you wait like a child questioning everything, the road itself, laughing like a drunk man falling into a roadside ditch. The road I'm walking now is howling and full of moon. Hopefully, it will take me to myself. Hopefully, they'll take me home. The Mechanical Cotton Picker for Black Chicago Poets. It wasn't that they killed John Boy in front of his mama's small blue house, and that no one called her Miss Bluebird anymore out of respect, though she never minded the name. It made her believe she'd fly off someday. Or that the sheriff let John Boy's body sit until even the baby stopped crying, their eyes filled with him, his body already going to marble no one would be able to lift from their sleep. It was that we could feed ourselves then by getting down on our hands and knees to pick cotton, and most knew what a body smelled like blowing down a dirt road. When Chicago reached my ear, the war was full of bodies. They sent whole train cars for us black folk. I read The Defender and waited to hide my face behind the curtains of a northbound train, and I prayed the train car would fly. The South truly don't want us to go. A Mississippi cop would catch a family disappearing behind a rainstorm and send them home, the clouds leaving 4 muddy fields at a time. I left like a season's first lover across a window, slowly like a southern sun, diagonal on the work back. I wanted to carry my aunts to Chicago with me, like this obituary-filled Bible, these plums I got saved, purpling in my bag. I wanted to place an ocean. I tell my uncle's ghosts, don't waste your time hunting white folks who owe you money. I try to give him my body, but he won't take it and pulls his wagon on. I began in fields near ponds where we laughed and fried fish. If someone were to sing, it would go through each ghost and be heard as geese crossing overhead. The dead know the work they have done, and if they are not careful, their hands will stay in the shape of that work. My hands haven't touched cotton or tobacco. I haven't pulled small green worms or carried them inside with me, hidden in the body's doublings. I was only a child in harvested fields. When my people let the cotton sleep, there were no vacations. The fields of Roseville belonged to my kinfolk, dead and alive, and I don't know if my great-grandparents ever saw the ocean or fell asleep on the beach. Ode to the City. Because the train cars in Harlem spill from the tunnels like butter beans. Because the snow in Chicago must be survived like cotton. Because in Los Angeles I flew in my grandmother's blue house dress and Carolina wings. Because the skyline and the tree line both have a history of taking my sight and doing with it what they want. Because this block can't grow white tobacco flowers to place in a window. Because a filled train car isn't my uncle's autumn-colored coffin with strangers at each end. Miss Mary Mack introduces her wings. My name is Miss Mary Mack, Mack, Mack. You sing it, my name. I turned into a bluebird last summer. I flew through all the South, my wings are blue, and I touched the sky. At first, I decided I was never coming back. I took off my black house dress. I knew freedom was not the act of flying, but the steady beat of wings. It was my steady black, blue, and my blues were gone. I wanted to be a bird and became. Where she planted hydrangeas. My grandmother migrated from South Carolina to North Carolina with 3 children, a sister named Betty Lee and a best friend named Lou. They sailed here and prayed God lined the highway with angels whose wings could hide them from every evil thing. On moonless roads, the stars gone missing. They arrived like most black folk looking for more than a field to turn over, to find a dead turkey vulture's feathers scorched under the truthful dirt, its wings bent as if it died, saluting the dead rabbit it stood over. What stood over them was a field the hands will never stop touching. They slept on homemade beds and ate over fires out of a cast iron pot. A whole community gathered together in the woods to pull wild onions, to pick pecans off the cold ground. All her dreams she scattered like chicken feed across the yard. My mother, aunts, and uncles ate those chickens, and they sewed those dreams into us. I purple under the windowsill of those lives, from which I flew. Only together, holding their hands in silence, can I see what a field has done to my mother, aunts, and uncles. The land around my grandmother's old tin roof has changed. I doubt she recognized it from above. How many blackbirds does it take to lift the house? I'll bring my living, you wake your dead. We have nowhere to go, but we're leaving anyhow, by many ways. When they ask why you want to fly, blackbird, say, I want to leave the South because it killed the first man I loved, and so much more killing. Say my son's name. His death was the first thing to break me in and fly me through town. If grief has a body, it wears his Dodgers cap and still walks to the corner store to buy lottery tickets and Budweiser 40s. I don't like what I have to be here to be. All the blackbirds with nowhere to go keep leaving. Carry Me, after Langston Hughes. I followed the shimmer far down a road I still haven't found the ending to. I picked up my life, my mother sewn a map to the back of, so one day I'd lay it out and travel back to the flat land of eastern North Carolina, a map to land where my body will die, where my ghost won't ride the trains all night, count steps from liberty to home. I tried to find the ocean before I was covered in southern soil. I put my head underneath the Atlantic, swallowed so many memories. I'm filled with people. Someone has taught me to fly. Whichever way I flew, my inheritance couldn't be lifted from northeastern North Carolina's wet clay, its hands hardened around my already weighted ankles. My mother's mother planted hydrangeas where I wanted to place an ocean, where I wanted to place an ocean. She grew me. I picked up my life, for it was the only one I had to pick up. How the body must pick itself up if no one is around to offer a rounded hand out of the snow that only buries. Stuck to my life were the same things I carry back with me now. My father's lying I've mastered, and wear how a field wears the bones of birds. The green tint gin bottles my uncles made of their bare nights. My mother, the only reason I have something to pick up. Thank you so much. And I just want to thank Cave Canem for publishing my second collection, Cardinal. And I wanted to thank Poet House for not only inviting me to read, but I took a workshop with Jericho Brown at Poet House before River Hymns was in the world, and it was so helpful, that workshop, for me finishing the book. So thank you, Poet House, and thank you, Jericho Brown, and thank you all for listening.
If you've enjoyed these programs, please consider giving a contribution to Poets House. For more than 30 years, they've kept the door wide open to everyone for the joy of poetry. Recently, they have temporarily had to shut the door and are reeling from the financial implications. Please give, even a small donation if you can. Thank you.